Look at you. Look at you. What are you building back there? Or is that just is that a background?
Yeah, this is our new live room and studio that we're building in my backyard. So it's like, it's coming along. We got about another 6 weeks to 8 weeks to get it done, but it's we're already practicing in it, and it's awesome already. So
wow,
really excited about it.
But there's got to be a part of your creative process that looks at it and says, just leave it as raw as this, because music starts out raw. This is the real beauty of being in the womb.
It definitely feels that way right now. But walls are good.
What are you doing for soundproofing?
Not too much. I don't go all out on soundproofing like I used to. Like we've got like some heavy duty insulation in between the studio wall and the live room, but like I don't care that much. Like it's not the same as it used to be, where like everything had to be like whisper quiet all the time. Right. Like the way we record has changed so much. Like a lot of the stuff is done in the control room now. We can put an amp in the garage and then mic it up and have it running in, and it's just really, really different now.
Oh my God, those moments inside that control room. I mean, to me, that's where you go in there and you listen to the pure sound, and then you take it out to the car and you listen to it through those speakers there. But those two areas, listeners don't get to experience that. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's a great feeling when you're all listening together in the studio, It's really cool.
So now, does the drummer get his own space? Because, oh my God, dude, those drums on your songs, to me, it's like the rebirth of John Bonham.
Yeah, I actually played all the drums on the last album, and we have Thom Chakra now is our new drummer. So he's recorded a couple of the songs on the new album that comes out in December. I did the rest of them. But, a lot goes into it. Like, we live track drums, but we also have electronic drums, and we mix samples in, and it's just so much more complicated than it used to be. But, whatever it takes to get the sound that we're looking for, that's all that matters in the end. So I'm not a purist, and I'm not one of those people that thinks everything has to be raw all the time. Like, it's not really my perspective.
Well, to me, that's the reason why these songs from the 50s and 60s continue to live on, because of that raw sound. They didn't sit there and try to perfect it. They said, okay, we only have so much time and we're paying only so much money for the tape. We got to get working right now.
There's definitely something to being rushed and having to do something on time, and having limitations creates creativity. It brings about creativity anyway. I definitely agree with that. So, interesting experiment. Sometimes I will take a drum beat or something from a rap song, and I'll record it, and with raw drums, and then I'll just send the drum track over to Adam, our guitarist, and be like, "Hey, see if you can make something out of this." And I don't tell him what it is. Like, it'll be like a famous rap song, but he can't tell because I'm playing it on raw drums. But it's weird what comes out of that. Yeah. Sometimes like you take something from a different style and it's like, oh, that sounds cool. And we put it into our style. And it's a nice little trick, but it's a limitation. We created a limitation. It's like, okay, make something out of this beat, and sometimes that's what sparks the creativity more than anything else. Well, it's definitely a good way to get out of a writing rut. Get stuck,
That doesn't shock me. Going back to the womb, the dude from Anthrax sat there and told me that he says, what I hear on when I'm playing drums is my mother's heartbeat, and from that heartbeat comes the rest of the song. You just basically said that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And everything's different. It's not like there's one right way to do anything. Some songs come out different ways. But you just kind of roll with it, and like whatever comes out, and Well,
what about the title of that new song? I mean, we dug a ditch and laid down. I mean, that right there, I'm going, holy crap, you got me at hello.
I like long titles. I don't know. I always have. Like, I've got more long titles coming too. Like, I don't know. I think it's funny. I don't know where we thought, songs had to be one or two words or something. Like, I don't know. I think I like long titles, but yeah, We Dug a Ditch is based on a true story, because I was a plumber by trade, so I dug a lot of ditches in my life. And there was a day where I dug a really deep ditch. It was like 14 feet deep.
Damn.
And I just thought it'd be really fun to like lay down in it, and like, cause like no one's ever done that or would do that, and just look up at the sky. And so I did, and it's just eerily creepy how quiet it is when you're that far underground. And I felt very peaceful about it. It made me feel calm, and kind of makes you think like, oh yeah, we're just dirt. We're just going back to the dirt. We were already dirt before, and you don't have to worry so much about politics and all this stuff, and get wrapped up in the day to day.
Did it change your idea of snakes? Because in Native American spirituality, the reason why so many people are attracted to snakes is because it's so close to the earth. They can feel the vibration. I mean, you went into the vibration.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like there's no vibration down there really, because like just staring up at the sky and the clouds are just slowly moving, and you can't hear anything. Hear your own heartbeat and your own breath, and that's it.
Oh my God. I would have a 14-foot deep hole all the time, because that's my kind of solitude, dude.
Yeah, well, it's really dangerous unless you have really good shoring. So I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time, but we have really thick clay here in Ohio, so it's not too bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I know that the press says that you retired from the real job, the career. I don't call it retirement. Yeah. I call it the power of choice. You had the power of choice to say, you know what, I need to do my music.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was, me and my wife decided, we wanted to try to sell the company in like 3 to 5 years because it was doing really well. And 6 months later, it was gone. As soon as we talked to a broker, we had like 8 people hit us up.
Jeez.
And it was like way faster than we expected. And, we were only 40 years old. So it was like, well, now what? What do now? But like, I put music on hold for like a decade because I had little kids and I had a career and I had, big boy responsibilities. So I couldn't focus on it. So now, my kids are 13 and 14 years old, and they don't need me anymore. They're living their lives, and, they've got their own little thing going on. Now I've got a lot of downtime, and, the music's just started coming back. So it's like everything I sacrificed just came back to me,
Well, you being the producer of this particular project, I mean, my God, I can't imagine your kids not being in that room and you saying, hey, look, let me show you what happens when I do this and when I can move this. Look at this track that I'm going to bounce.
They hate our music.
No!
They do. Well, my kids do. Adam's kids are obsessed with it. So apparently our demographic is 6 to 10-year-olds because they know every word. And, we recently went over to Jeff, my bass player's house. We all live within 10 minutes of each other here in Delaware, Ohio. And we went over there for a late night cookout and sit around the fire. We all had acoustics playing and having fun. And the kids are just calling out songs and singing all the words and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. But, my kids are older now and they have very particular music tastes. I think they just don't like it because it's mine, But what's funny is their friends like it. That's the best part. I think that digs at them even more,
Oh my God, yeah, because even as a teenager, when I had friends whose family was a band, that was like, oh my God, I'm living with the Partridge Family. This is so freaking cool.
Right. Yeah. Well, you think having like a creative studio space and everything would be appealing to them, but it's really not. So I don't know. So
now as you're building that room, only because I have a studio that I'm in as well, there's a favorite place that I like to, speak into because it gives me a natural reverb. Are you creating a space like that? Because I love natural reverb. Yeah. So our main room is a little over 1,100 square feet, 1,200 square feet, and it's 14-foot ceilings that are vaulted. There you go. So we're putting in a wood ceiling, and then we have a brick back wall. And then the wall behind me is actually going to be a green screen wall. So we're going to have a monster green screen for all of our videos and production and stuff. And then I'm putting our main drum kit on it's on its own little stage that is on casters and can be moved. Wow. So we can move it from without having to reset anything up. You're moving it from the green screen room to the the performance room, and then you can wheel it into the studio, or into the control room even. Wow. So are you here in Charlotte? Eddie Z has a sound room like that. In fact, he calls it the sound room. Are you going to allow other bands to come in and you can record them? We could. I'm not really focused on that. I'm really just focused on us right now. I'm not in a place where I need to try to make money off of music or anything like that. So I'm just
I just want to make good art. We want to make good songs and just stay focused. And I think that's a hard thing to do. It's hard to stay focused on what you're doing and do one thing well. When there's all these like opportunities or distractions or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah. Well,
So
speaking of staying focused, how did you create so many different levels of sound inside We Dug a Ditch? Because, I mean, and to me, that's the attraction is that, I mean, we all have limited space, of staying, true to a full song. But my God, you take me for a journey on this monkey.
thanks. I appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, it just started out as a riff. I was actually like live on TikTok and I was just like noodling and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. So it started out as like a guitar riff, and then, just start loading it up. But yeah, we changed the song quite a bit. We recorded. I actually paid 5 different engineers to finish this song because I the first one I wasn't happy with at all. Like they just didn't get it, and I wasn't really happy with our last record overall. Like it took a lot of work to get it to where it was, and it was like we need to find a really great engineer to work with. So like we ended up with Corey Bergeron out of Toronto, and he's just fire. Everything he touches is great, but like. He really understood the art, the art of what we're trying to do and the sound, and he just made it 10 times better than we ever could have, So I got to give Corey a nod for sure on that one. But he's doing our entire new album. It's almost done with it. It'll be out in December. So yeah, really excited to finally find someone who gets us, and like I've got a good mixing background and everything, but it's just it's weird mixing your own stuff.
It is. Well,
I just can't hear it the same way.
You become a perfectionist. Oh, we got to do this. Oh, we got to do this. Oh, I'm still missing something. Oh, I got to do that. Yeah, you never get done.
Exactly. Nothing ever gets done. So it's better to just kind of like get it to a close point and then send it to someone else who's a professional and, and has different ears on it. And ultimately it's always better. You get more people involved, the thing becomes better.
Yep.
I mean, have you ever seen like a movie that had like one dude on the credits? It's always like, 400 people on the movie credits. Like, great. If you want to make something great, it takes people, and I learned that through my company and running a company, and, we had 35 employees and, I used to be the lone wolf type that wanted to do everything themselves. And, I learned through that business is, you got to work with people. And you got to let people do their jobs and, not micromanage people. And like all those lessons and all those things have helped the music so far.
Yeah. And isn't it strange how life plays out like that? That you had to have that. If you took out the plumbing in your life, I mean, seriously, it would affect your music today. That plumbing had to be exactly in place so you could be where you are right now.
That is so true. And I feel like I'm the best version of me as an artist right now. And I never would have gotten that far if it wasn't for my company or my plumbing. And even recruiting, like, when I got band members and we picked up guys, I treated it like a business and recruited the best talent I could. Cause I was really good at recruiting. That was my thing, not to toot my own horn, but like, that was like my thing was training and recruiting. I had fired and hired hundreds of people, over the years. So like I got a really refined process on how to pick the best candidates, the best people. So we have like super reliable guys that are extremely talented, that love the music, and that's not easy to do, to find 4 people that vibe like that, but yeah, we got it. So
wow. So where can people go to find out more about you as well as your band? Because I know you're going to be posting stuff about building that studio, because this is the exciting part. I want to hang out with the roadie, the people that build the stage.
Yeah. So we're really active on TikTok. I'm not so much on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. Like we pretty much just repost there, but TikTok is where it's at. That's our favorite platform by far. So like we post on there as much as we can. But we're going to create a second TikTok page just for Corrupted Studios, is what we're calling this, just to kind of track it, and do lives from that, So yeah, I'd say TikTok is the best way to get a hold of us or, to hang out with us. We're going to be doing a lot more lives on there, and YouTube also. Like we started doing live streams on YouTube, but I think YouTube's big. I think it's going to get even bigger. Yep. YouTube Music is taking off and doing well and competing with Spotify and Apple, and I think it has a lot of potential. So.
Absolutely. Well, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future, dude. The door is always going to be open for you.
That's really nice. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.